Today, we will be looking at hood versus community. And is there a difference between the two?
Okay, Lady Borele,
Yeah.
I want to ask you a quick question. Do you think there's a difference between a hood and a community? 45 seconds.
There is no difference specifically. There's a difference theoretically, because people may want to consider themselves separate from other people, but they're all still in the community, part of the community, all one big community.
Well, what's a hood then?
A hood is an area where people have identified as low income, mostly with gangbangers, people who probably, not all, but some, just don't want to integrate with society.
So a hood is based on, in your opinion, socioeconomics.
Socioeconomics, it could be also educational wise, it can also be spiritual wise, because I find that there are quite a few who don't even go to church. They don't know God.
A friend of mine told me that last Friday in Compton, he went to the liquor store and he spoke to all the guys that were hanging out in front of the liquor store. You know, there's something about guys hanging out in front of the liquor store. We need to do a study on that. Anyway, so just as he finished speaking to everybody, automatic gunfire rang out. My friend said he and everybody outside just dived to the ground. Just as quick as the gunfire started, it was over. So he jumps up, makes sure everybody's okay, and then he goes into the liquor store. He buys a pack of cigarettes, a six-pack, and a bag of potato chips. Then he says, see, you know what? Man, I ain't never going up to that liquor store again on a Friday night. You mean to tell me that nobody got shot? Well, I tell you what, that's exactly what I would have did. I'd never go there on a Friday night again. Well, first off, I wouldn't go there on no day, night, or ever again. What if kids were there? Kids could have gotten hurt or shot. Man, tell me, how can you live in an environment like that? They say that communities put their children first, with well thought out, long-term decision making. They say that hoods focus on short-term monetary gain, with little or no focus for the future of their children. People in hoods do things like defund the police. Could you imagine a little girl growing up in a bad environment with inadequate protection from the police? Now wait a minute, Mr. Goody Two Shoes. It's not like they're naming streets after you. That's a great point, because when you name a street after someone or build a statue in their honor, you're basically telling the world all the things that you stand for and the things that you feel are most important as a group. Now, if your statue stands for racism, tyranny, oppression, indentured servitude, maybe that statue should come down. Now, if your statue stands for being a deadbeat dad, not holding down a job, hanging out at liquor stores, and not doing anything for the betterment of your community, maybe that statue shouldn't go up. You see, I don't have a problem with the statues they taking down. I got a problem with the ones they putting up. We all know that in time, things change and people change. But if you're gonna build a statue or honor somebody with a street name, 50 years from now, if a kid asks you, hey Dad, I would like a street named after me just like George Floyd. What do I have to do, Dad, to have a street named after me? You want to make sure that your answer to that young man or woman counts.
Hey, sir, how you doing today?
Good, how you doing?
All right. You don't mind if I ask you a quick question? You know, what do you feel is the difference between a hood and a community? Real quick.
Well, community strives together to make it a nice place to be. A hood, no one really cares what the hood looks like. You got writing on the wall, everybody's disrespectful. So the difference in that is you got the good with the community stuff, and it's all bad with the hood.
They say that people in hoods live in a state of terror, while the people in communities live nice, safe, and well-protected lives. You gotta be kidding me. I see them on the news too, shooting up the church in the movie theater. Don't seem like too much of a utopia to me. Wow, this guy actually said something I agree with. You see, when terror happens in a community, it's just more terrifying. But when it happens in a hood, it's just business as usual. They say that most people in communities practice good nutrition. And through good nutrition, they live healthier lives and they live longer. Well, in the hood, good nutrition is eating all the hot dogs, cupcakes, and ding-dongs that you want. And bad nutrition is when all the hot dogs, cupcakes, and ding-dongs run out. Most patriots in our country come from great American communities. And there is a difference between a patriot and a citizen. To put it simply, citizenship normally deals with birthright and immigration paperwork. And as a citizen, you get to enjoy the freedoms and the rights that the patriots have put their lives on the line for. Look, you'll probably have a better chance trying to pick up a turd from the clean end than trying to find a patriot from one of those so-called rich communities. You know, most patriots seem to come from your poor white, black, brown, and yellow hoods. And they normally represent the best that we have to offer. And they use military service to start their quest at the American dream. Most hoods go to communities to spend their money. And it's so sad because their money only stays in their hands for 2 to 4 hours before they're running off to spend it in another community. Major businesses normally don't invest in hoods. That's why you have so many of the elderly having to go out of their area to do basic things like shop and bank. But why should they if you don't value your own area enough to spend your money in? You know, the leadership in communities is held to a high level of accountability. So therefore, they deliver. But the leadership in hoods is normally exemplified by high charisma and low character. The leaders don't seem to take care of their people, but they always seem to take care of themselves. So overall, when you look at hood versus community, it's all a mindset. One mindset is a group of people that work together to create a safe environment for their kids to grow up in. Whereas the other mindset is an every man for himself mindset, where the people justify, rationalize, and procrastinate. And this, my friend, creates an environment where low standards become the norm.